Alright everybody, welcome to the video. This is how to play like Yngwie Malmsteen number 2. I'd like to first address that when we're playing these scales much like him, they're in the key of A harmonic minor or something in harmonic minor, whether it be E or A. He also plays between that and diminished scales, which are pretty cool. The good thing about diminished scales, and he really did good with this one because it works very well with the guitar, especially when you're going between E and A and then diminished, because it fits perfectly, and you'll see what I'm saying in about a minute. But the diminished scale is a very movable, especially with certain patterns, very movable kind of scale that can be used for patterns where you don't have to do crazy fingerings and they kind of stay the same, and you can move down in an every 4 fret kind of fashion. So actually, for example, the first exercise we'll do here, so something along that line, right? That's a slide we have going on there. So that's diminished, and it starts by, you're going to use your index finger, your ring finger, your middle finger, okay? And the two strings are going on the high, the two fingers are going on the high E, and then the B string will be occupied with your middle finger the whole entire time. You do not move this shape. It literally starts like this. You ready? And it stays 4 frets apart on the high E. For example, right now I am currently at the 20th fret with the ring finger, and I have my index finger on the 17th fret, and then I have my middle finger. So put them all on there, even though you can't play 2 notes on 1 string, but keep them on there just as I said. Then also put that on the B string on the 19th fret, put your middle finger, because what you're going to do with an upstroke on the high E is hammer off just like that with those same fretting fingers I told you to use a second ago. Then with the downstroke, you're hitting the 19th fret. Okay. So you're sliding there. Down. What you're doing is you're shifting this finger position down 4 frets. And how you can always remember the positioning of it, and again, there's going to be tabs for this, how you can always remember and never forget is that when you do this, your middle finger is going to be 1 fret, obviously on the other string, the B string, but will be 1 finger length, 1 fret behind that ring finger. And you're moving down 4 frets because this is diminished, the position of it anyway. And you can keep going with it. Now, it really only works good for the B and the E string. It's tougher to do it on other strings. The fingerings are a little bit different. So start with this. So let's do this again. So we've got, let's see here, 20, 17, and then 19 on the B. Then right back to the 20. Let's try that again. Then you're going to slide down to that 17. Then up, you're going to bring that finger up, and with the index finger you're hitting the 14th fret. And then on the B string you're hitting the 16th fret. Slide. And then you're doing the same thing again. And you're hitting the 17th fret and sliding after that 4 frets down. So you're, which is going to be sliding from the 17th all the way down to the 14th, then hammering off to the 11th. B string, you're going to have your finger on the 13th fret. then right back to the 14th, and then you're gonna slide again down to the 11th, and then you're gonna hammer off to the 8th. On the B string, that is the 10th fret. Then right back to that high E on the 11th fret. And that is going to be the 8th, 5, and then on the B string, 7. Sounding like... So this one was, for me anyway, this was tough to learn, so take your time with it. Go slowly. It's really cool. The other thing I noticed is that when you start to play this very fast, it sounds a bit mushy. So you got to find the right speed that works for you. The other thing is you make sure you get the right picking pattern with the right hand for whatever's comfortable for you. And that basically summarizes that one. All right, so the next pattern we should go over is this one. So basically Yngwie plays this so many times in Far Beyond the Sun in so many different parts in the neck. And I believe, actually that song is in C sharp minor. This one will play in... So see how you can play the diminished lick we just played, and pretty much works out everywhere all over the fretboard with this, especially with E harmonic minor and A harmonic minor. So let's go over that lick. So it basically, it's over 2 strings. You want to try to alternate pick it if you can. It starts with a downstroke. You're going to use these 3 fingers, believe it or not. This is what he does. He's not doing this. So that's how he gets the speed on this one. So what I'm talking about is, you go like this. The 13th, you have your ring finger on. Your your middle finger is on the 12th fret, and your pointer finger is going to be on the 10th fret. Keep them there. Alternate picked. 13, 12, 10. Upstroke on the 13th fret on the B string. Then what you're going to try to do is downstroke on the 12th fret on the high E. And then right after that, the note on the 12th fret is the 10th fret. Right? And then the next 3 notes, which on the B string are 13, 12, and then you have to go back to the high E to hit 10. Last notes. So it's kind of like a pattern of 4. And the last 4 notes are on the high E of 10. The B string is 13, 12, 10. So it's that over and over again. When you look at this a little closer, this is actually a set of 4 notes. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now once you're done with that, you have this little ascending. So listen to it, that'll play it a little faster now. Listen to this. Listen to the ascending part. It keeps this in line. So after you're done with those patterns of 4 that repeat a few times, 3 times, you're gonna make sure you ascend, which is going to be on the fret 10, 12, and 13 on the B, and then right back up to the high E string, 10, 12, 13. So things like that are very important to learn. He utilizes some alternate picking like it would be there. The next pattern that's pretty good to go over is something that's economy picked. I probably have gone over this before. I'm going to make this as simple and as painless as possible because it can be very difficult to kind of get into some of the economy picking that he does that's more advanced. But when we're talking about more or less things that are close close on the fretboard, meaning you don't have to go. You can do something like, loves to do that, oh my gosh. Like right in that little box there, I'll show you that in one sec. Let me just play this for you one more time. Now that's economy picked. Alright, so usually what's going on here, and I have another lesson on economy picking. Everything you need to know about economy picking is one of the other videos that I did. I'll drop a link right here for you so you can basically look at that if you're a little confused by how to approach this like I'm about to show you. But this is economy picked, but the briefing on the economy picking anyway is that when you're playing 3-note per string patterns and you start on the first string and you move to the second string, you go down, up, down for the first 3 notes, but then you carry that downstroke to the next string where you start your next 3 notes. When you do the economy picking, what you need to remember is that when you're going from string to string and you're playing 3 notes per string, you start down, up, down, down, up, down. So as you notice, there were 2 downstrokes there. It's basically a continuous sweeping motion when you're switching between each string. As opposed to economy picking when you're going over multiple strings is really good. A lot of jazz players utilize it. Yngwie claims that he doesn't know what he's doing when he's picking with his right hand if you've watched any of his interviews, but he knows what he's damn well doing. I mean, he has to have an idea. So this is definitely what he's doing. I mean, I've caught him doing it almost any time he does a pattern like this. So let's go over this real quick. This is going to be over 4 strings. I think if you're at this level and you've watched the first video, this should be something you're able to handle. But remember, again, the economy picking is 3 notes per string. When you switch strings, you continue that downstroke from the previous note and continue it onto the next downstroke to the next string, which starts your down, up, down, down pattern again. There'll be another video on this. I posted the link a minute ago. Just make sure you check that out. So when we get into this, you have to see that when you're on the D string, and we're going to do very identical looking fingering patterns here just so we can get the point across to you. When we do this, we need to start with the downstroke. Let's say we're going to go over the next 3 strings, the D, the G, and the B. The tabs are going to be 9, 10, 12. 9, 10, 12, 9, 10, 12. Okay? So we're going to go down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Now the last 3 notes are going to be, again, downstroke from 8, upstroke 10 on the high E, 12. And what I like to do at the beginning of this is instead of just starting like, I like to go. So that sets your picking hand up to not have to blast into motion so fast. You'll know what I'm talking about once you learn this technique. Sometimes it's better to be able to start it with a few extra notes. So what I do is to get it to sound the way I get it to sound, and so does Yngwie, like this. So it's the first 3 notes I'm playing there are 12, 10, 9, 10, 12. 9, 10, 12, 9, 10, 12, 8, 10, 12. So that's another good one to go over. Again, that's economy picked. You need to learn to pick that slow. That's right hand technique to the max, and that's something that really you have to start with it slow, eventually use a metronome to build your speed on it, and then eventually you'll get it right. Alright, Alright, so the last pattern that I want to get into with you in this video is what I like to call a high E bend. He does it all the time. Oh my gosh. So he'll go from really low on the fretboard and he'll do that high E bend there like that. But before he does that, he has a little, like a diminished sweep he uses, like. I believe that little diminished sweep before he does that high E bend. See how those patterns I just played for you connect so well? That was the high E bend, and then the first pattern in this video I just showed you. So they all connect so well, and it's really great. He really created a great genre of music and a great style of guitar playing. Very intuitive. To do this one, this is just a little sweep pick. Now, most people would do, if they're stretching 4 frets, right? They would use their index finger and their pinky, but Yngwie doesn't do that. To start this pattern, you're only using these 3 fingers again. It's a bit unorthodox, but it's what he does. So you're going to start on the 10th fret on the, let's see here, the G string, and hammer onto the 13th. Sweep pick, so carry that downstroke to the next string, the B string on the 12th fret. Another downstroke to the high E on the 10th. Now, I like to pick the last 2 notes on this. Normally I would go, I wouldn't pick the last note, but I like to on the high E bend because it gives me a bit more control on this. So when you're doing this high E bend, so you have the notes now, what he does is with the, oh my goodness, with the ring finger, he's sliding that ring finger, not the pinky up to do that high E bend. He's sliding up, I've seen it in videos. He's almost doing the, look at, he's almost doing this. He's not even, he doesn't have this finger on there, he doesn't have this finger on here. He's got 2 fingers here. And that's how he's getting that vibrato, I mean the vibrato, and yeah. And you get your thumb planted back there really good so you don't have to deal with the shakiness from the other parts of the back of the fretboard there. You really want to practice. This one's very difficult. You really want to practice. Practice that first, and when you're comfortable shooting up that neck on the very last fret on my, I have 22 frets, so I'm at the 22 fret bending up. And it connects to so many things. It's like, those are some Yngwie patterns, and again, this is video 2 in a series, so I know all of them, and I want to share them all with you. And again, there will be tabs for this at the end of the video, so if you guys have any questions, please leave some comments, and you feel free to message me with any questions you might have directly.